Hello everyone, this is OGAE Azerbaijan. Today we will get to know Dansk Melodi Grand Prix candidate with a beautiful voice, a jazz lover, and one who perhaps can teach us some magic tricks with her beautiful voice. And it goes like this. Baby, my baby, come sit here with me, watching the sunset, not talk. Maybe, just maybe, you don't have to leave, and maybe it never gets dark.
Abracadabra, come back to me. Abracadabra is what I need. Wonder how you are, wonder if your heart's breaking like mine. Wonder where you are, wish upon a star, say we'll be fine.
Claudia, can you please introduce yourself?
Basically, I come from a very talented family. Everyone is a musician, always has been. Music is nothing that I chose or my family has chosen. Music has chosen us. And I come from Hungary, and I'm also Gypsy. So this whole abracadabra thing is very close to me, of course. And I moved to Sweden when I was 1.5, and then I moved to Denmark 8 years ago. So, but I've been traveling a lot because I've been singing and playing professionally since I was 11. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I guess I really picked up a lot of musical styles, and also when you get to know so many different kind of people from different cultures, you kind of become a mix of different things. So growing up in Sweden and also being a part of the Nordic community, and also the music community has also done something with my music. But I still have that gypsy abracadabra, something mystical in my music. Even though I haven't really been singing Hungarian folk or nor gypsy music, actually. I've been touching it a little bit, but I haven't really been a professional in it. But I guess it's just in the way I express myself, full of emotions, and somewhat dramatic and somewhat powerful, somewhat you're not afraid of the supernatural. You're not afraid of your feelings. You're not afraid of the power behind the music, behind abracadabra.
And Claudia, you first wrote your song when you were 12 years old. Can you tell me how the Rainbow Dreams was born? Since it was one of your first composed song.
Yes, it was my first, really sophisticated song that I composed. So I've been composing since I was probably 4, but this song was just something very special because it just came out of me. And the way it happened was I was listening to a lot of instrumental jazz, because that was something that I could hear the instruments talk to each other. So I didn't want to have lyrics because the lyrics just told me the story. But when I discovered what the instruments can say in jazz, I really understood what they were saying to each other. So I was listening to a lot of instrumental jazz, and I was listening to Herbie Hancock one evening. It was very late, and my father came in and he said, "Claudia, you have to stop now because you're going to get late for school again tomorrow if you don't stop." Of course, I didn't stop. He just went to bed, and I continued listening to all of that spacey music. And I really loved it. And all of a sudden, I fell asleep. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I just had one fresh song in my head. I ran to my keyboard, paper, pen, and just wrote it down. And it just came out of me. So that was the birth of Rainbow Dreams.
I feel the breezy, smooth sound under my skin.
And I called it Rainbow Dreams because I remember my dreams were about rainbows. So that's why it became Rainbow Dreams. Yeah.
Very interesting. And Claudia, who is your inspiration music-wise?
Oh, there are so many. So I met Stevie Wonder because I was doing some backing vocals during his show in Copenhagen several years back. And I guess Stevie has been a major influence for most musicians, especially in my genre. I have to say, when I was very small, I listened and I learned everything that Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, and Mariah Carey would do. So these three singers they were really the ones that I was copying all of the time. So it's not coming from the jazz scene into the pop scene again through Abracadabra and Melodi Grand Prix, hopefully into Eurovision as well, hopefully. It's a natural way for me to land on something more poppy again.
And as you mentioned, in 2009, when you were 22 years old, you met Stevie Wonder. Actually, how did it inspire you as a musician, who you are now?
You know, what happened was we ended up at a jam at Jazzhus Montmartre, it's called. It's one of the most fancy places in Copenhagen. And first of all, his people said after the show, they told us that, well, he's too tired, he doesn't want to go. But all of a sudden he came out from backstage and he was shouting and saying, let's go party. And we were all so happy about that. So we went into Jazzhus Montmartre. They of course closed the place, so we had it all private for ourselves. And he was so funny. He took the microphone and said, guys, I just want to thank you so much, and I just want to say one thing. And then he burped into the microphone. So he was not at all sophisticated. He was just, a very funny guy. And then I came close to him. I asked his wife, can I just, talk a little bit to Stevie? Of course, honey, of course, darling. And then she turned over to Stevie and said, whispered in his ear, so honey, there's this little girl who wants to talk to you. Is that okay? I was like, of course. So he grabbed my hands. We were cheek to cheek, and we were talking about everything between music and God. So it was really a huge experience. And what happened was I came home, and I got home in the morning, like 7 in the morning. And I thought I really need to go to sleep, but I couldn't. There was a song that came out of me. So I just sat by the piano and I recorded it instantly. And that's also on my debut album. My album is called I'm Strong, but the song I wrote after
All
that
meeting
is All Through You. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, in my life, I've got skies of blue, and my love is new, all through you.
How actually that's exactly time to write a song or not? I mean, how the inspiration comes when you write a song?
Well, before it was very much because of music, I guess. So whenever there was a musical event happening that was inspiring, I took it to me because I'm very open as a person, and I took it in, and something just came out of me. So I couldn't really control it. I also have some tunes that I've written because there were people asking me for it. One of those tunes is I'm Strong. And that was because one of my very good friends and singers wanted to use me as a songwriter for something that she also wanted to have on her album. So I wrote I'm Strong, but I also, of course, used that song for myself. Nowadays, I get inspiration from everything but music. So I don't want to listen to music because my brain analyzes music all of the time, and it really colors me. So I'm afraid that it will color the next song that I will write. So that's why I want to go out in the woods. I want to go out in nature. I want to read a book or listen to podcasts or meet new people, which is kind of difficult right now. But yes, so everything else than music inspires me these days. And that's how I made a whole album that is coming out because I was listening to a podcast. I still listen to that podcast a lot. It's called Star Talk Radio. It's about astronomy and astrophysics and a lot of it's a science podcast, and I really love everything with stars.
Actually, how COVID-19 affected you? I mean, like, is there a lot of music you wrote?
Yes, you can say that. So my album is called I'm Strong, and it's called I'm Strong because I feel strong. I know I'm strong, and every time there are problems coming up in life, I don't fall down. I climb even higher. So whenever COVID came, I felt like this is the time I need to put an extra gear in and just to be even more productive so that I can actually survive this. Because I also have a son. I mean, I'm a mother, and you know, you have to be strong. And I like that role. So I wrote a lot of new songs, and I did that during something I called Behind the Scenes, or You Have My Word. That was my live events on SoMe, mostly on Facebook. So I told people to write one comment during my live sessions, and out of one comment, I picked out one comment and I made an entire song out of one comment.
Wow.
During the live, you know, because I also play different instruments, and I have my little mini studio at home. So yeah, there are a few tracks on my upcoming album, and also singles that are coming out very shortly that I wrote because of COVID, actually.
And when actually we can expect the album?
I will come out with a few singles at first after the Melodi Grand Prix. So in about 2 or 3 months.
And Claudia, actually, after living in Sweden and around Europe, you ended up like settling down in Copenhagen. So what influenced you in your decision?
I really love Copenhagen because I feel there's a lot of diversity, also in Denmark generally, but absolutely Copenhagen is some kind of a mecca for festivals, a lot of cultural things going on all of the time, and I really feel like home in Copenhagen. I really love the culture in Copenhagen, and but still the Danes keep their own traditions, which I love. It's very important for me to feel like the Danes, they like to keep the Danish, the authenticity of Denmark. I really like that.
Also, Claudia, you took some break from music until 2017, and then we see you again like in a Danish competition called Young Jazz, and you reached to the final there. Can you tell me what such competition give to an artist?
I'm an artist that likes to compete. I'm a person that likes to compete. And that kind of competition really makes you learn things. And it makes you learn things not about other people that much, but mostly about yourself. Also because you're getting recorded, you need to feel secure in yourself, and you need to know what you want when you are on stage and why you are on stage. So a concert is a concert. You're there and you're expressing yourself, but a competition is just a little bit more than that. You need to be even more sharp in a way. So that competition, it made me, first of all, feel loved by the Danes. And I was also the only one during, they actually never had this, during all of the Young Jazz competition in Denmark, they never had someone that came up singing and playing totally alone. So they always had bands, trios or quartets or even more. So I was the first one to enter a competition all by myself as a solo artist, and it felt really, really good. It was very exciting as well, and unfortunately I didn't get the first seat, but second is not bad at all.
You also starred on Antonio Farao's latest album called Eclectic, and
Yes.
namely with 2 songs, Part of You and Europe. How did this collaboration start? Whose idea was it?
Well, it started out by I was listening to his album, to one song in particularly called Theme for Bond. It's an older song that he made, and I fell in love with the song. So I wrote lyrics to it, recorded it, and I had listened to the song so many times that I knew the piano solo in my head. So I sang the piano solo. I recorded the piano solo with my voice as well. So I sent it to him, and he called me instantly, and he said, Claudia, you know what? Normally, I don't like singers because they want to sing on everything, but you can really sing. Can you be a part of my band? So it ended up with me being a part of his album, where I'm also singing on the same tracks as Marcus Miller, a very famous jazz bass player, and Manu Katché, also very famous. And also is people like Snoop Dogg is on the album.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was very was a very fun experience. So we did a tour in Italy. Of course, he's one of the top piano players in the world, I have to say, and I'm not the only one saying that. So I'm very happy I did that collaboration.
Finally, in 2019, you debuted your first album, I'm Strong.
Yes.
How long did it take you to bring this album out?
It took quite long because I didn't feel that I had the perfect songs for it. I really, because I've been writing songs for so many years, but I didn't feel that I can put these songs together. So I had to write some new songs to really feel that, okay, now it's a perfect piece of an album. And I didn't want to rush. I remember many of my colleagues, they asked me, particularly singers, they asked me, do you want to, why don't you just come out with an album? And I also felt like I don't want to come out with an album just by myself. I really want professionals to stand behind me and do all of the work, because there's a lot of work behind it. It's mastered by a sound engineer called Eric Zobler, who was also a very famous jazz and funk piano players, sound engineer, sound guy for 15 years. And he lives in LA. So, and also I wanted two of my favorite musicians on the album, which I got, and that is the very world famous drummer called Vinny Colaiuta, who's my absolutely favorite. He's been playing with Madonna, Eros Ramazzotti, you name it. He's been playing with everyone. And for many people, like non-musicians, these names don't really matter anything, because you never see who is behind Beyonce or who's behind Aretha Franklin. But as a musician, I know. So he's on the album, and also Jimmy Haslip, a bass player, who has also played with everyone. So I got them on my album, and I really needed that. I wanted that so bad. So I wanted my first album to be something that is really strong.
But it's actually strong. I was listening yesterday, and it was really, really nice.
Thank you.
And Claudia, almost all the songs in your album is written by you, except one, which is Smile. Can you tell me what makes Smile special for you that you wanted to put in your album? So
both of my parents were musicians. They're not playing professionally anymore, but they used to. And my mother, she started to play at a very, very early age as well, just like me, or I just like her, me just like her. But she was playing as a bar pianist for many years. So when she got pregnant, I was in her belly, and she had a contract over 8 months where she was playing 6 nights a week. I don't know for how many hours, but she did that with me in her belly. And Smile was one of those songs that she played almost every night. When I was a little girl, I heard that song in my head, and I started to sing it. And I said to my mom, "What's that song? Why do I know that song?" So she said, "Well, I was playing that when you were in my belly, so maybe you can remember it." So that's why I chose Smile.
Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear maybe ever so near.
And Also, funny story is that Charlie Chaplin was actually a gypsy.
Mhm. Oh,
Not
okay.
many know that. Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know about that.
No.
And now let's move on Dansk Melodi Grand Prix. You were one of the surprise names in the competition since we seldomly see a jazz singer to join Eurovision. Can you tell us how it all started?
Well, I didn't really know that it started because my management, they were out on a meeting somewhere in the world and they met the writers of Abracadabra. Mm-hmm. Emile Lay was there. And there are two other writers, Melanie Webe and Louis Jarto, but they weren't there. But they met Emile, and Emile told them, so I have this beautiful song and I really need a great singer. I just haven't found her yet. And so my management said, hey, have you heard Claudia, our artist? And he had heard me, but he didn't think of me. So that was just the perfect match. He just said, yes, that's what we want. So they called me up and they asked me, and I heard the song and I fell in love with the song. It really just blew my mind. And I said, yes, of course. So that's how it happened.
How does it feel to be in the team with strong songwriters such as you said, Emile Adler-Lay, whose songs won Melodi Grand Prix the last 2 years in a row?
Yes, it feels very good. As a professional musician, I've always been surrounded by, also because I started out as an 11-year-old little girl, you know. Mm-hmm. I always played with people that were better than me, older than me. So I always felt like I had a big support around me. And I actually also got better much faster because of that. So for me, this is something very usual. The only thing that is unusual, perhaps, is that Denmark chose to have a little bit more diversity for this Melodi Grand Prix. And that's why I'm also a part of it, because I come from a totally different scene. I come from the jazz scene. But, you know, the Melodi Grand Prix is not, I don't feel that I'm too good to be a part of Melodi Grand Prix. It's more the opposite. I see it as a very, very big opportunity and something that is very exciting. And I just want to grab that opportunity and make the best out of it.
And Claudia, Abracadabra is an amazing song. I love it very much. It gives the vibes of a soundtrack or let's say a Disney movie.
Yes.
Can you tell us the message behind of the song?
So basically it's about, I know that a lot of people have lost some loved ones due to COVID-19, actually. I know a few, and I know it's heartbreaking, but I think Abracadabra is what we need, what we want. We want to use Abracadabra to just get them back, get your loved one back just one last time, so you can see them, so you can caress them, so you can kiss them, so you can tell them how much you love them, before you can let them go and carry that eternal love with you for the rest of your life.
Actually, is there any person you are thinking of when you are singing that song? Because you are truly sending all the emotions to the listeners.
I had a very beautiful connection and relationship with my grandmother from my father's side, who I only knew my first 6 years of my life. And she did everything for me, and she gave me so much love. Not my parents did as well, but there was something special about her. She was this very strong gypsy woman, you know, really knew how to cook, really had, you know, an attitude, but also had so much love. So she took care of me in a way that nobody else did. So I really miss her, and she's the one I'm thinking of when I'm singing this song.
Can we also get some tips what to expect from your performance on March 6th? I mean, like, are we going to see some magic tricks?
I'm hoping to do magic with my voice and to share the power of music, the power of this song. But you never know. I can't tell you. I'm not supposed to tell you too much, but I can tell you that I'm going to sing and play all by myself.
And actually, how does it feel to sing for empty audience?
I think that Abracadabra has very good chances because of people are sitting down at home, and also it's a very deep song emotionally. I think it's easier to reach out to people through a screen if something is emotional and almost filmic, like you said. It's almost like a soundtrack to a film score. So I think I have pretty good chances, and it feels good to me because I know that people don't really have anything to do right now. These days, you cannot go out, you cannot go to the bar or to the cinemas, or so people will watch Melodi Grand Prix, and I am very proud to be able to represent this song for the entire Danish population.
Actually, what it would mean for you to win the competition and represent Denmark?
It would mean everything. I mean, I'm the only one doing a ballad. It means that the ballad was very strong and I did a very strong performance. So that would mean the world to me. Absolutely. It's a dream. I'm really going to do my best. And I would be so proud to introduce the song for Eurovision, all of the Eurovision fans out there, because I know how big Eurovision is in Europe and also outside of Europe. It would really mean a lot to me.
Actually, are you a fan of Eurovision in general?
I've been a fan. Sometimes I've been a bigger fan. Sometimes I've been, I won't say I'm not a fan, but as a musician, when you're out playing on Fridays and Saturdays, you're not sitting in front of the TV. So I haven't really had the chance to enjoy everything that Eurovision has been contributing to the world with. It's just like I've missed out on some other cultural events as well because I've been working at the same time.
Is there any favorite song from Eurovision?
Yes, absolutely. I have to say it's Salvador,
Salvador Sobral.
Yeah, Sobral, the Portuguese guy. I have to say, when I saw that really turned my world upside down, because I thought, this is not Eurovision. This is not typical something that will win Eurovision, but it did. And it showed that the people felt something different than expected. The fans, the Eurovision fans, felt something that I wouldn't expect. That was a very strong moment for me. Tears were falling down my eyes.
And Claudia, if you had a magical wand,
yes,
what dreams of yours would you make real?
Wow, that's a very difficult question. I think I would wish for less ego in this world. I think ego is something that we use a little bit too much, all of us.
Very nice wish, actually.
Yeah, I can be nice.
I guess you have heard the rest of the songs from Melodi Grand Prix.
Yes.
There is something for everyone, but who do you think will be a good competitor to you?
Oh, I really like all of them. I have to say there are two others that really stand out in a way. So that is actually my colleague, because I am a part of his band, is Chief One.
Oh.
Okay. With Thomas Buttersen.
Yes.
So I'm the piano player and singer in his band as well. So it's a really fun thing to do this, because we just had a tour last year in Denmark, of course. So his music is always interesting for me, because he's also a mix of different things, and it's not about prestige, it's about feeling, and I like that. And I also like Mike Tramp, because that's also something that is different, very different from what you actually expect. And it's also, a different feeling. You get a different feeling. I like some things I like everything that is unexpected.
can you enchant us again with your beautiful and magical singing voice?
Absolutely. So, baby, my baby, come sit here with me, watching the sunset, no talk. Maybe, just maybe, you don't have to leave, and maybe it never gets dark. Abracadabra, come back to me. Abracadabra is what I need. Wonder how you are, wonder if your heart's breaking like mine. Wonder where you are, wish upon a star, say we'll be fine. Gotta care. Okay, I'm not gonna give you any more. You have to tune in and you have to see me perform it live.
Thank you very, very much. And do you have any message for your fans?
Absolutely. I want to say I love you guys all over the world. I really, really wish that I can come out and play for you live. That's what I wish to do. And I hope that you really will enjoy the Danish Melodi Grand Prix. And I really hope from the bottom of my heart that I will see you at the Eurovision Song Contest.
Claudia, thank you for this beautiful interview, as well as for the beautiful voice and music. We wish you best of luck in Melodi Grand Prix, and perhaps we will see you in Rotterdam 2021.
Hope so.